All right, I can't believe we're doing this. It's the long overdue introduction of my 1973 Volkswagen Bus. All right, we're gonna start the interior here. It needs everything. The seats aren't ripped, but they're not in great shape. We've tried cleaning them up. The stains just won't come out of it. Unfortunately, there's really dirty underneath, so the stains are always gonna show through as long as it's filthy underneath the fabric. So probably gonna end up covering them at a minimum, but most likely we'll be reupholstering. The dash isn't in terrible shape, obviously a little dirty. I've since cleaned it up since we first got it. It does have some cracking right in here, to be expected with these things. I'll probably just do, they make kind of a vanity cover that goes over these. That's probably what I'll do in the future. But other than that, I don't think I'm gonna do much else. As far as the flooring goes, all the rubber flooring that was in here, I ripped it all out. It basically fell apart as we were ripping it out. The wiring seems pretty intact. It's not bad. I've already gone through and started ripping into some things. You'll see a lot of my wires ID'd there, so I know what I'm doing when I put it all back together. Obviously, all of the interior, I mean, everything needs to be replaced, but we're gonna keep this stuff for templates if we decide to do something else, if we buy a kit. I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and hang on to this stuff. We did find a rat in here, but again, luckily, I think it was laying like right there. And luckily, it looked like he hadn't gotten to many of the wires. I mean, I couldn't see a single one that was actually chewed. As I say that, I might have one right here. See if I can crawl up in here. Part of the headliner is falling down. You can see that here. It's pretty torn up. I did have to hammer out the original ignition. Unfortunately, the original keys were missing, and I bought this at auction, and the gentleman had passed away, so we didn't know where the keys were at the time. So to get this thing out of the yard, had to beat out that ignition, which really sucked, but here's the new one, freshly painted column, looks really nice. And I went ahead and picked up a brand new replica wheel. So I just finished putting that in so I could at least gain control of the steering column and move this thing around as needed. Overall though, the dash really isn't that bad. Again, just a few minor cracks. I'm not sure if this is the original odometer, but we've got 68,899 maybe is what it looks like, but overall in pretty good shape. All right, moving on to the back of the bus. This is what it's looking like today. This was filled with all sorts of junk and goodies when we got it. I'll try and find some of those things. You can see what was actually in here. We found some very interesting items. It has the rock and roll bed for the seat back here. Really cool. It folds down. It's all dismantled because I did have this out of the bus when I was trying to clean things up. And again, you can just see how bad the interior is. I mean, it's just everything needs to be replaced. All the panels, everything. Headliner's all ripped up. All needs to be replaced, without a doubt. All right, moving on to the engine bay. This is what we're looking like today. I did remove the motor, and it needs some work back here. Probably gonna pressure wash this entire thing, including the bottom and the frame and everything, and really clean things up. Probably lay down some spray paint back here. And here's an interesting thing we found. We found AC lines. So previously this had some AC professionally plumbed to it. It looked like a really clean install. I did remove the transaxle and took that down to have it rebuilt. It was in pretty bad shape, worse than I thought when I actually got it pulled out. And as far as the motor, that's an interesting story. Let's go check that out. All right, so this is the 1600 motor that came out of the bus. When I initially pulled it, it was seized, or I thought it was seized. It was in pretty rough shape, definitely wasn't as clean as it is now. It was just sort of hanging in there, no mustache bar, so really don't know what the story is. My understanding is that the 1973 bus came with a pancake style motor instead of the Type 1 upright. So when I pulled this out, we went to go turn the crank and it wouldn't turn, not even a little bit. So we just assumed that it was seized. It was worth trying, so what we went ahead and did was I pulled the spark plugs and just sprayed a little bit of penetrating fluid into each of the holes and just kind of let it sit. That was about a month ago. Fast forward, and I decided to post it on Facebook Marketplace. So I was contacted by a guy who wanted to trade up some bus parts for this motor. It was a pretty good deal, being that it was seized and he had quite a few parts that I needed for the bus. I was cleaning out my garage when we were roughly about 10 minutes out from meeting to make the exchange. And when I rolled this back into the garage, it was sitting in the sun, I went ahead and decided, hey, let's go ahead and just give this one more try. So when I put this on and turned it over, it turned over. So my C1600 was no longer seized. So what I went ahead and did is when he got here, I let him know that, hey, the motor's turning, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it, but I'll give you cash for the parts. So I scored on the parts, but I ended up not parting with the motor. So I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with this just yet, but I will tell you, I am gonna try and start this thing up as it sits. I put some fresh oil, some new plugs. I've got a new carb I'm gonna put on this. We're gonna see if we can just fire this thing up right here on the ground. And who knows, maybe I'll have a good engine and it'll be something I can build for that 73. I don't have any plans on going to the pancake style motor, simply because in my mind, when I had envisioned owning one of these buses, I always envisioned it with the Type 1 upright motor. I had no interest in ever having a Type 4 pancake style. All right, as far as the transaxle goes, this is what it's looking like. Looks brand new because I just had it rebuilt at Arizona Transaxle Exchange. Go see Bill. He does amazing work. So this is the original 3-rib. Everything's fresh. Looks brand new. All right, we're looking at the exterior of the bus. As you can see, we've got new rubber. I did go ahead and replace all of the tires on this with fresh rubber because the other ones were completely rotted. As you can see, paint's in pretty rough shape. It's got a nice patina. It looks like it had some body work that maybe the last owner had started. I don't know if these are original lights or what, but all the lights need to be replaced. The whole bus needs to be painted. Everything's real crusty and just what you'd expect from 73. But overall, the body's in really good shape. Not much as far as body work. We got some minor surface rust and then get it prepped for paint. It'll be really beautiful. All of the windows are intact. No cracks, nothing. It's all there. All right, that is the bus in its current form. It's where I'm at today. Plan is to do a full build series as I go through each of the different phases, and I'll do my best to document it. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like the content, and we'll see you later.